Good evening, and you're very welcome to another episode of Around the Grounds here on Finalwhistle.ie. Another action-packed night of action, this time from the First Division. No action in the Premier Division due to a lack of fixtures there, due to fixtures previous that went on in that division. Now, we will start with another Munster derby down in Shannonside, where Treaty United took on Waterford. Treaty were heavily beaten by rivals Cork last time out. This time they took on a Waterford side who were unbeaten and were looking to challenge for the title. Watching for us was our reporter Tom Clancy.
Yes, good evening from the Markets Field, where the dust is just settling on Treaty United's 2-1 victory over Waterford in their very first League of Ireland Munster derby. Treaty had goals from Matt Keane and Enda Kern either side of the break, and that was enough to put them into a 2-0 lead as Waterford went down to 10 men as Tunmishe Sobowale received his marching orders for a red card in the 48th minute. A goal from Anthony Wordsworth on 75 minutes, the Waterford substitute heading home to reduce the deficit. That made it a real scramble down the stretch here, but Waterford unable to get that equaliser, and it's back-to-back defeats now for Ian Morris' side. Well, for Treaty, as I say, first win of the season at home here at the Markets Field. It is only their second game, a 4-0 defeat this time last week to Cork City, but a first home win now since September, that also in a Munster derby against Cove Ramblers. So Matt Keane's goal after 6, Enda Curran's goal after 57 had them in the driving seat, but despite missing a number of players due to illness in the camp, Tommy Barrett's sides were full value for the victory, really digging deep in order to get the points and push them back into the promotion picture, jumping up the table following a disappointing run of results for Treaty. So full time here at the Markets Field, it is finished Treaty United 2, Waterford FC 1.
And thanks to Tom from that report from all of the action for the Markets Field. Apologies, that's Waterford's second defeat of the season. Actually, just to make that clear, that they actually had got their second defeat in that regards. Now, moving on, we look at another interesting game between Bray Wanderers and Wexford. Bray have been slow this season to find their feet, while Wexford look to be one of the teams that have surprised us all, in fact, with their form so far. Could they get a big result tonight, especially with Waterford having dropped points at the Markets Field? With the report from the Carlisle grounds, it's Luke Delaney.
Yeah, and Diarmuid, it was a game with very few clear-cut chances, but when they did come, like towards the end, Curtis Byrne did think that he had got all 3 points for Bray Wanderers. He ran very strongly into the box before releasing a rocket off his left foot, but it did bounce off the upright. And apart from that, there wasn't many clear-cut chances. The sides did struggle to put a phase of passes together, and I think both sides and both managers in Pat Devlin and Ian Ryan will be looking for a lot of improvement over the next while. Two teams have had a very, very similar start to the season with 2 wins, a draw, and 3 losses each, and I think they're going to have to get a lot better on the ball if either of them are going to make a late promotion charge.
And thanks to Luke for that report from the Carlisle grounds for the Bray Wanderers versus Wexford fixture. Now, another interesting tie that took place this evening was at Bishopsgate, where we'll go to that second. First, we'll actually go to the game between Cork and Athlone at Turner's Cross. Cork City, of course, unbeaten so far in the league. They were looking to make another statement, taking on an Athlone team that were, they've been down on their luck. They haven't got a result so far. With a report from all of the action at Turner's Cross, our reporter, Sam Curtin.
Oh, God. Yes, it was a comfortable night's work for Colin Healy's side tonight at Turner's Cross as Cork City defeated Athlone Town this evening. Cork nearly had the lead after just 15 seconds as Barry Coffey attacked straight from the off. But he ran through the Athlone Town defence, but his shot was saved straight by goalkeeper Micheál Slingerman. But Cork did get the reward on 7 minutes when Rory Keating scored his 3rd goal of the season. He managed to run behind the Athlone Town defence, taking advantage of some slack defending before rounding the goalkeeper and putting Cork ahead in front of the shed. And it got even better then on 18 minutes because Cork got a penalty after a handball by one of the Athlone Town defenders, and it was Keating once again who slotted home the penalty for his 2nd of the night. On 35 minutes then, Cork really just asserting complete control on the game, and they got their 3rd. This time, though, it came after Kevin O'Connor. He put in an excellent cross before Keane Murphy got on the end of it from close range, a close range header. Although Ali Gilchrist can probably count himself a little bit unlucky not to have claimed a goal after his header pretty much set up Murphy to tap it home from close range. But Athlone Town did get a goal back just 2 minutes later from Carlton Obezunu. He took advantage of some slack Corksy defending to sneak in at the near post and strike the ball into the bottom corner, ending David Harrington's streak of 4 consecutive games without conceding a goal. Going into the second half then, well, it sort of didn't have the same energy as the result was pretty much sewn up at that stage. But Cork did get another goal, and this time it came when Barry Coffey managed to get on the end of a goal-mouth scramble from Kevin O'Connor's long-range throw-in, and he got that goal then for Cork to put them 4-1 ahead on 52 minutes. And Athlone Town's misery really was compounded on 82 minutes. A substitute, Aaron Connolly, got booked for a second yellow after a rash tackle on what appeared to be Cian Murphy, and he didn't even wait around for the referee to flash the red card. He went straight into the dressing room after, and a night where it really was all about the league leaders, Cork City, who extend their lead to 3 points at the top of the first division after 7 games. It finished here at Turner's Cross this evening. Cork City 4, Athlone 10-1.
Perfect, Sam. Thank you for that report, as always, with the action from Turner's Cross. Now we'll turn our attention, as I mentioned just previously, toward Bishopsgate, where Longford took on Galway. Longford, of course, not having the best of starts to the season due to fixture cancellations, only playing 3 games so far. This was their 4th, taking on John Caulfield's Galway. Definitely an interesting tie. And with the report of all of the action is our reporter, John Nee.
Hi, yeah, thanks. It was an interesting game up in Bishopsgate. Both sides started quite quickly. There was a yellow card for Dean McMeany very early on after 6 minutes. Really rash tackle. Could have seen red, they were arguing, but it was rash. And free kick, edge of the box. Galway whipped it in, ended up in the back of the net, but it was ruled offside. Now, on the 10th minute mark, we had a really bizarre incident. It was an own goal by Michael McDonald. And I believe it's practically going a bit Twitter viral as such, because 8,000 people have already seen this goal, which can only be described as bizarre online. And I think we have the clip ready to play for you. So as you can see, not much pressure on the defender at all. And he just bundles it into the back of his own net from very little Galway pressure. It's a really bizarre goal. Galway got a very handy, easy lead early on after 10 minutes. Galway, after this, though, seemed to just sit back and accept that they had gotten an easy 1-0 goal. They didn't really push Longford after this point, and the game got very scrappy from here to around the 40-minute mark, where Longford kind of upped the ante a bit, started putting more pressure on Galway United. And it was their captain, Sam Verdon, got on the edge of what can only be described as bad Galway defending as well. They didn't, first ball wasn't cleared, ball whipped into the box, and Verdon just bundled it home. Galway were appealing for a handball, didn't really look like it, to be honest, and the sides went in at half time 1-1. Again, the second half started very scrappy, both sides not really getting into the game. Longford were trying to play out from the back with the short balls, but it just didn't seem to be working for them. Galway were applying good pressure, but not making any chances of their own. Captain and goal scorer Sam Verdon got injured as well around the 76-minute mark, and his replacement, Callum Warfield, who looks like a giant of a man, came on, and after 2 minutes he took a ball clean out of the air, laid it up for the goal scorer, Darren Craven, from outside the box, hit a wonderful strike into the bottom corner from what looked like 25-30 yards out, and put Longford 2-1 up late stages. Galway pushed on for an equaliser, never really looked like they were going to get one. They had a very flat performance, and it was a very disappointing game. Longford, as you said, this is their 4th game, getting a good win against an informed Galway side, so they'll be happiest after today's game.
Perfect, John. Thank you for that report from the game down at Bishopsgate. Definitely a bizarre own goal anyway in the tie. And of course, you can check out that video for yourselves on the official SSE Electricity League Twitter account. That's where we managed to source that clip from ourselves. Now, I'll just give a quick and brief run through all of the results that happened this evening. Of course, Bray and Wexford finished scoreless down in the Carlisle grounds. High flying Cork continuing their charge up the table, looking with intent for a title and to get back up into to the Premier Division in that regards. Of course, as John mentioned there, Longford picking up a massive win there against Galway United, getting their season off to the start. And of course, Treaty United with a big win over Waterford in the Munster Derby below in the Markets Field this evening as well. Now we'll just take a look at the first division table from all of the results tonight. As I mentioned, Cork City on top with 16 points. Wins for Treaty and Longford, sending them up into the playoff spots. They're all now level with Wexford and, of course, Bray Wanderers as well, but goal difference there, seeing the two teams on top. Waterford sitting in third despite that result this evening. Now we'll just take a look as well at our statistics tab on the website. And it is Barry Coffey who remains the top goal scorer. In terms of alphabetical order, Rory Keating Jr. and Benin O'Brien Whitmarsh, of course, are on 4 goals, as well as is Enda Curran. Definitely the goal scoring form coming there for Cork, as well as Dylan McGlade also is putting the ball into the back of the net for them. We'll take a look as well at the goalkeeper situation. I know Sam had mentioned about that as well with the clean sheet statistics, that the likes of Cork City, of course, with their clean sheet statistics so far with David Harrington. He looked to have got his 4th clean sheet in a row today, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. But he still tops the record with 5 clean sheets so far this season. Brian Murphy, and of course you see that Brian Murphy, Conor Kearns, Luke Dennison, Andy O'Donoghue and Stephen McGuinness, along with Jack Brady and Lee Stacey, all on 1. David Harrington definitely leading the goal scoring charts in that regards. Now we'll take a look at the fixtures that are coming up for you in the next week or so. So on Friday, the 1st of April, in the Premier Division, we have Bohemians taking on Derry City, Dundalk take on UCD, Sligo Rovers take on Shelburne, St. Patrick's Athletic take on Drogheda, and Finn Harps take on Shamrock Rovers. That game's at 8 p.m. And on Monday, then, the 4th of April, more Premier Division action for you as well. UCD take on Derry City. Finn Harps take on Drogheda. Both goals games kicking off at 8 o'clock. And on Tuesday, the 5th of April as well, we have Sligo taking on Bohemians. More action for you as well. We will be bringing you all of the action for that as well. And in terms of the first division, then, of course, Athlone take on Bray on that Friday as well. Galway meet Cove Ramblers. Waterford take on Longford, and Wexford take on Cork. And on the Monday, more fixtures for you in that regards. Treaty United, of course, facing Athlone. So that brings an end to that. And of course, then we'll talk about the Women's National League fixtures for tomorrow. Sligo Rovers take on Bohemians, Shelburne take on Cork City, Peamount United take on the DLR Waves, and Wexford Youths take on Treaty, with Athlone and Galway facing as well. All those games kick off at 2 o'clock, and we'll be back with another Around the Grounds tomorrow. Just around the 4 o'clock mark. Make sure to turn on notifications across our social media platforms to get notified when our live content goes out for you at the final whistle, with the Around the Grounds coming later on in the afternoon. Now, big thanks to all our reporters for the match reports tonight. Make sure to check out all of the action across the Final Whistle website, including our updated table and the statistics tab as well. Like I said, we will be back to you tomorrow afternoon, and we'll also be back to you next Friday for more action from both the Premier and the First Division games as well as that. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you can also check out this content later on down the line on our YouTube channel as well, should it be necessary for you to do that. But until the next time, goodbye.